Children are the torchbearers of our future, shaping the world with the light we kindle in them today. Welcome to Morning Coffee and Bible. Today I have the honor of having my amazing mom join me as we dive into the timeless biblical wisdom on raising your kids to have purpose. We're going to discuss how parents can instill a deep, eternal perspective in their children, teaching them that life is about more than just careers and material success. From honoring your father and mother, to training up a child in the way they should go, to Job's dedication in making sacrifices for his children, we'll share practical, faith-based guidance on nurturing a generation with true, God-given purpose. Now, grab your coffee, settle in, and let's uncover the secrets to raising children who understand their divine calling and are prepared to live it out fully. So, are you ready? Let's go!
So we hold on and enjoy the ride. After all the ups and downs, this is our time. Enjoy the ride.
I was wondering, like, this morning, like, am I going to be more measured because I'm on the camera with my mother? And like I said, when I did this with Dad, I was like, I don't think I've ever called you father in my life, but I don't think I've ever really called you mother either.
No, not really.
Not really?
Never.
All right. So this is Morning Coffee and Bible. This is my mother. I'm not going to say my mother. This is my mom, Sherry Fogel. Sherry, thank you. Or Mom, thank you. All right. So you didn't hear the intro, but I don't know if you took a look at it, read the script at all. But what we're talking about today, I kind of filled you in, like the topic that we're going to kind of meditate around and kind of just talk about, kind of just go around in circles about. But we can talk about anything you want to talk about. We can jump into. But it was we're going to mainly speak about raising your kids to have purpose and what that's all about. And I know for me, having Zach's my brother, and I know we were probably the best children in the world. We were always obedient. We always did everything we were told when we were kids.
Day one.
From day one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you did. You did. You were the best.
Were we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
100%. Did we ever do something wrong, or did we ever disobey you?
Probably about several times a day.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think when you get older, for me and now having kids, it's like you don't think about obeying or anything like that when you're a kid. It's just like you're not your mind hasn't kind of come to that fruition and that mindset of thinking about that. But it's like when you have kids, it's like it can make your blood boil if your kids don't do what they're told. I know I mean, it's like, and then you start understanding like that righteous anger that God must have when we don't do the things that he tells us to do. It's like you really start feeling that as a parent, or at least I have.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, you see what how patient God has to be with all of us, because we do so many things that are wrong, and he gives us so many chances. And that's what you have to do with kids too. And they know when to ask for what things that they want. They know exactly how to ask you, and I learned one thing as you all grew up, and I didn't use it enough, but you would come to me and you would ask me if you could have something or if you could do something, and I was caught with a yes or no answer, and I learned that I should have said, come back to me later. Come back to me in 30 minutes and I'll tell you. And that never worked. I should have tried it, and I should have tried it from the beginning, and I didn't. And when I get this age, I figure out I should have done that, because you wanted an answer immediately.
I've learned that, like, just like if you're doing anything, like me building a project or anything like that, it's not until you're almost done that you actually realize the way you should have been done it the whole time. You're a professional at the end, but then the project's done, and it's like you got to move on with life and everything
Mhm.
like that. That's what I've found. Yeah,
And you wish you could go back.
and wish you could go back.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. Like because I've asked my parents, what do they? Not my parents, but my children. What or at least specifically one daughter of mine, I've asked, what do you what do you what comes to mind when you think of me? And I think her answer was, not right now. Like, and that, because I guess maybe I have used that because I am always like my immediate response, and we have children that are on two different sides of the spectrum on their personality and the way that they kind of come about things and ask things. So one of them, I'm usually default as in not at this time. Let me think about it, because I just the nature of being asked things so many times and over and over. But I don't know. Like with kids, I think everyone, they're all different. They're all unique and they're all different in their own way. But all right. So
Yeah, kids are different, and they know, they know um, your every move. They know, how to get things from you. You all would wait till we were at a ball game, and then you would come up to us with your friend and ask us if you could have them stay all night. It was like kind of embarrassing to say no. You all knew that too.
did we really? I feel like so different than I was when I was a kid. I do not know how you handled it because looking back, and us, like we had so many friends over and like nonstop just at our house. It's like the whole neighborhood was at our house and what we were doing. It's like they were so involved in everything. I could not. I as an adult now, I could not function that way. But I do not know how you all did it. How did you all do that?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you all live out in the country, so you
Oh
really
yeah.
don't have that any at all. But we had the doors were open all the time. They were coming in and out all the time. They were eating at our house. They were, playing at our house. They were sleeping at our house. And but it was fun. I thought, I mean, I enjoyed all your friends, and they were a big part of our life back then, and I probably would have rather had them at our house than have you all wandering around the community.
Oh yeah, yeah. And that I think that's kind of me and Jesse, my wife, or we're kind of like our kids are wanting to have other kids over and spend the night and all that stuff, and it's like you have a little bit more know what they're doing when they're doing it at your house, and you have a little bit more as opposed to just letting them go and stay over at other friends' house, and you don't know what kind of trouble they're going to do or being influenced by and peer pressure and all that. You don't have as much like a hand in it. So, but I struggle with that because I'm not the person that like I couldn't handle like you all did, like thousands of kids at our house and kids just walking into our bedroom, like you talked about. Like we had friends that just walked into your bedroom while you were sleeping, and it's like they were just at home, And
They were at home.
They were just at home, and I got a wasp on me. Here we go.
Oh, yikes! Yeah, we would. Yeah, we'd be in bed and they'd come in and answer the phone in our room. So it's like, just be happy and be at home at our house. So
Exactly.
I was happy with it. I mean, I was okay with that really because they were all good kids.
I think I must have fell pretty far from the tree because I don't think of myself a lot like you or Dad. A lot of ways that you all are you have a different personality than I do, and the way that you all are able to handle things is a lot better than I myself do. I think I don't know if it's just medically, like I do tend to struggle with a lot of OCD, like in a lot of ways, and that like I don't know if I just missed that, and how I got that, because it seems like neither one of you all have ever had that like kind of that struggle that I've found, especially as I've grown up. I think I changed a lot after high school and after I got into college. I think things just if that doesn't even make sense, like OCD has really like plagued me, and I think it's went away from me as it's not as bad as it was, but and I don't know if it's just chemical things or if it's just being influenced, like because I wasn't always like that.
Mm-hmm. No, you weren't at all.
I wasn't at all.
But
like
I can kind of remember when you started showing a little bit of signs of it.
You could.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that when that was?
I mean, it was probably before high school.
Before
I saw it kind of before high school a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I guess there are things that I can remember that like I was even back in middle school. I felt weird. I couldn't imagine to go into high school and to have to take showers with other guys or in the locker room and everything like that. Or even I feel uncomfortable peeing by another guy in a bathroom. It's just like I feel like just that just weirdness, that awkwardness that I had even back then. And I know a lot of people maybe don't like that, and maybe a lot of people don't broadcast it and everything like that. But like especially like maybe that there has been something that like as a seed started in my life. I had like struggles that, but they came to like over time made it into life and just expanded and grew. I don't know why things are like that. I don't know.
Well, I can remember you, telling your friends to wash their hands.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get up there and wash your hands.
Why is that?
I don't know, but
And I remember like what was the other thing? I lost the train of thought. I think it was like I always had that tendency where I was just like uh I always give like a disclaimer or something to somebody. I'm handing you something, don't blow it up or something like that, or don't break it. Like that. It's like I just had that weird like feeling in me that I always, and I think God bless my wife. She has been through a lot. Just my personality, and I always, even now, I still do it. If you even ask her now, like I struggle with things, and I just over say things, and it's just a way to like give myself kind of a security that I've said it. I don't know. It's like a tendency of, I don't know what it is, but
well, you used to go to birthday parties, and you told me that you would go in the bathroom and you would open up the card to make sure the money was still in there.
exactly. Yeah.
And sometimes I think maybe he did get that from me, because when I write a check and put it in a envelope, I open up that envelope several times and sometimes look to make sure I signed it and I dated it right and
Oh
put
yeah.
the right amount.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you did get a little bit from me. I don't know.
You think so? Maybe that is like because it is so weird how kids can come out so different, but then have some similarities from their parents. I like what all causes that. I don't know, but
Yeah, I know there was a lot of difference between you and Zach. I mean,
oh yeah, 100%.
oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, you were very protective of everything of yours.
I didn't share. I was not a good sharer.
No, you weren't a good sharer. And Zach was the opposite. Zach would say, if there's anything in my closet you want, you can.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Zach was also the one like if he got money, he spent it right away. But I was like a person that kind of just kind of hoarded and just kind of like kept it in my little box or whatever. It saved all my dollars,
And you just don't understand why kids are like that's so different.
Why it is that way?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
God knows.
how God makes how many people he's made and how they can all be that just different. Like I don't know how he does that. Like everybody is there. No one is the same. Everybody is somewhat different.
No, that's true. Yeah, he is unbelievable.
Oh yeah. So I started off. I wanted to talk about like raising your kids to have purpose and what that all means. And I thought this came to my mind like whenever the way that culture and this especially this American culture is just like pushing people, you got to get out there, you got to make money, that's the way to happiness, that's all you're gonna be happy if you have money, if you have a good family, if you have a good job and everything like that. But it's like at the end of the day, a lot of times that can, people that have the most can almost be the most depressed to me. Like I found, and going in when we're all going to die someday, and it's like we're not going to have a U-Haul come into with us when we go to be buried. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do we like kind of get ahead of it and wanting to raise our kids to have purpose and not maybe instill in them that mindset of just you got to get out there and get a job, you got to make something of yourself, but giving them a better, like almost an eternal perspective, like to maybe make more have maybe more joy in their life by having that eternal perspective.
Well, it's probably hard to, as we go along, and it's harder and harder to do that because life just gets tougher. It seems like, to me anyway.
Why is that? What do you mean? Like,
Well, just the way that uh, this country's is right now. I mean, it's so uh, guided by um, money and um, wealth and prosperity.
Uh-huh.
Getting ahead. Uh, the fact that they'll do anything to get ahead.
Uh-huh.
You don't you can't. It's like you've lost the idea that you can trust what you read or what you see. You can't trust any of that anymore. It doesn't seem like
Was
to
it not
me.
always like that? Like, was it better? Like,
Oh, I don't feel like it was like that. Maybe I was very um, guarded. I mean, I was protected or something, but I don't feel like it was like that at all
uh-huh.
before. I mean, it was very early where there wasn't any of this uh, technology like there is now.
Technology just makes things almost on steroids. It just makes it so much more effective and more fast paced, and like things that took like weeks and stuff to get to the public are like in your hands in like the next few minutes when something happens. So like it speeds up the process so intensely. So yeah, like I mean, you were like, because I guess I was born in the 80s, 1985, Royals, World Series champions. But like so in the 80s, like the internet wasn't really born at that time, was it? It wasn't like a little bit. It was a little bit later, because I
Yeah, it
remember
was
us
later
getting
than
a
that.
computer almost the early
Hmm.
90s.
Right.
So
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first computers, or they used to.
when do you remember that? When was that?
Well, I mean, gosh, I was in college then, and my roommate, she was a computer. Uh, she was into in the computer programs,
Uh
and they had these huge, huge machines, and they would feed in these cards, and I mean, I didn't even understand it or anything.
huh. Like these floppy disks or something like that, or were they with it?
No, it was like cards,
Well,
that had like little holes in them,
uh
and
huh. Oh, like with like the punch, like
yeah,
oh, that's like even that's a lot. Like that's
like
that's a.
way back there.
I know. I think I know what you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
because was the. Do you remember seeing the actual computer?
Oh yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
like big, or was it
Oh, they're big.
like how big?
Oh, big. Big. I don't know.
They weren't like I don't have my phone on my phone is what is recording right now, so I do not have my phone.
Oh my gosh, no, they were huge. They were huge.
Or this like yeah, people. This is like almost like the what a computer back in the day what
Uh huh.
that took up a whole room probably
Oh
was.
yeah, they were huge. Yeah. And I can still remember her walking to her, the computer lab and
Uh huh.
everything. And sometimes I would go with her, and yeah, I didn't have a clue what she was doing. Totally lost. But what gets me right now is I think at the beginning of Google, I think you had more faith in what you were looking up too.
Is that right?
I think you did because maybe there was, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, but it just seems like you look up something now and there's like, you know, 50 responses to your question.
Uh huh.
And it's like, several of them are different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it's like, which one do you believe?
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I know what you mean.
And it's got to be a lot of opinion. It's
Yeah, it's like given all the diversity and variety of answers like that, when we have more to choose from, it's nice. It can kind of weed out some bad options, but then like you're like overwhelmed and overloaded
mhm.
with like responses. So it's like you don't even know which way do I even take this. That kind of leads me in like thinking about like just AI in general. Like I know it's if you, have you really used much AI that much or
No.
not really, but like it's like right now you can ask it anything and it gives you a pretty succinct answer. It doesn't give you just general like it can give you whatever you want it to give you, but it can give you a succinct like actionable answer that you can take and use if you give it the right kind of input. You give it the right stuff you're needed and everything like that. So I think it's going to get better over time. So maybe what seemed at the beginning, I think like whenever the information overload that happened whenever the internet first came out, there wasn't like there wasn't as much information, so you could trust it, and you couldn't like there wasn't much things that could challenge anything. And then it's like everything got out there, and then nothing was really was credited or verified. So then it's like you don't know what to. I think we're going to get to a point where things are more verified and trustable. Eventually, I think so. Especially with like if you've ever heard of the blockchain. And
No.
that is like a kind of a fancy word. Like it's like this ledger of things that in this crypto world, that there's all these things flying back and forth, and there's like a ledger happening. There's so much information, but it can give you everybody has visibility to everything that's there, so that everybody can quickly weed out and throw out what's not true, and what actually is the most real to the source remains. So I think we will get to. It's almost like everything. I know I keep just rambling and rambling, but like I think at the beginning of the internet, like there was, it was new and we could take a lot from it, and then it got overloaded. But I think it is going to get more honed in, that it's more useful as we get into AI, and especially the blockchain. Blockchain is more like cryptocurrency and all that kind of stuff. What's happening in that space,
Yeah.
everything like that. But,
Yeah, and that's woo.
yeah, I know, because you and Dad, you never really you're familiar with like kind of cryptocurrency and all that a little
kinda, but yeah, we don't get it.
Yeah, I know. I mean, a lot of people like don't talk about it or anything like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk about it, but I guess it's just who everybody has their different perspective of it. I myself, I've kind of went flip flopped on like the usefulness of it and whether it's the future or not. I guess I'll give you like my opinion. Like I think it is the future. I think Bitcoin is going to be the future. What's going to happen? Like all the other cryptocurrencies are going to kind of fall by the wayside, and then they're all kind of feed in and almost fall within the umbrella of Bitcoin. That's what my personal belief. But the other ones can definitely still make you money if you actually know how to do it. And I don't know how to do it at all, so don't take my financial advice. But that's kind of like that world of, it's just there's not really any value in it. It's just kind of the value that people kind of put behind it. That there is no inherent value within the cryptocurrency.
Right.
Like you probably don't spend most of your time thinking about cryptocurrency.
I don't think about that. Yeah, I'm from the old ages. Oh yeah.
Well, I want to maybe switch gears a little bit. So like having our kids raised with purpose and like kind of an eternal perspective. What do you think about like instilling in them like good morals and values at a young age? Do you think that that can be beneficial, or it's like it doesn't really have an impact one way or the other, or they're going to learn it? They're going to learn how to live their life based on just their surrounding environment, anyways. Or do you think instilling a good moral value system is important?
Oh, I think it's really important.
You do?
Oh yeah. I mean, I do. You don't know what that's gonna, how it's going to, come out in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know how. Kids learn more from just watching you than I think,
Oh yeah.
than listening to you a lot. You know, I mean, we took you all to church, every Sunday. I was pretty adamant about you all going to Sunday school and church.
Yeah, and I think right after when I had a truck, I stopped going because I didn't have to go anymore. I felt.
Yeah, Zach was always mad because he said I made him go till he was 18, and I only made you go till you were 16.
Yeah.
And I don't remember that. I don't remember letting you stop. I don't know.
I don't know what happened either, but I do think I didn't really go. Like I think I just kind of chose not to go.
Right. And we always went to church first, and then went to Sunday school second. And I swear, you all, every time we got out of church before we went to Sunday school, you said, "Do we have to go to Sunday school?" I was like, "Yeah, you have to go to Sunday school. What's different today?"
That does remind me of our current like condition with our children. That's kind of somewhat like that in some form or fashion. And even when you said about like kids don't really, as much as what you say to them and how to live and everything, it's more like how you act and how your actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and that almost like immediately brought down my heart, because it's like with our kids, like I've almost like I've been like unfiltered in a lot of ways, and like and just they've seen the worst in me, and I haven't really tried to even hide it. And I know some parents like try to go into a separate room whenever you're going to have your fights and your little disagreements with your spouse or everything like that. Like my Jessie is definitely more where she wants to like not let them see that, but I was always just like I don't care, and I let them see whatever kind of thing. And they saw me in my true colors and worst condition, and I did that almost consciously, so they would see that I'm not perfect, and that they would know that and realize that. But I know that also can almost be doing a wrong way about doing it. So there's kind of like I might have been doing it the wrong way by doing it by that way. But did you have any like things where you thought about like it'd be better to not let them see that, or like
I don't know. Zach wouldn't hardly let us fight. He got mad. He would start trying to get himself in trouble.
why?
Because he just didn't want us to fight or something. So we had to just stop talking and ignore each other. Almost, we didn't. I mean, I don't know if you ever remember too many yelling, screaming fights between us.
I remember some, but like I probably wasn't like that. Like he didn't want you to fight at all.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't.
I don't think you all fought that much, really.
We usually took the
You went behind the door.
Don't speak.
The don't speak.
The don't speak path. Yeah.
Like don't speak to each other, kind of thing.
Yes. Right. Until it boiled over. So we probably have a lot of things that never were figured out.
You just kind of just moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could remember Grandma Mary always saying, Grandma Mary was Mom's mom. And she was probably one of the biggest influences in my Christian life, really.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Definitely. I mean, but she'd always say, now go over to your husband and give him a kiss. I was like, Grandma, I'm mad at him. But she was like that, though. But,
Yeah.
But, yeah, she was an unbelievable Christian.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the stories about her, and she said, like, you remember, like, or you've always told me, the pastor didn't had beer bread or something like that, and or no, did someone give her beer bread? And she called the pastor to tell him about it.
Yeah, she and her daughter Renee, my aunt. Yeah, somebody gave them beer bread, and they didn't realize it really had beer in it, and so they called the pastor at the church, and they asked him if it was okay to eat it. And he said, yes, it's all right, Mary. You can eat that bread. I don't think they ever did eat it, though.
It's just they're probably just taught that you shouldn't drink or anything like that. And,
right.
And you and Dad never drank at all, really. I mean, I don't even know if you've ever drank. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did a little bit in college, but no, I never drink anymore.
Yeah.
But I haven't drank probably since my early 20s.
Is that right?
Yeah. Now Michael, he occasionally a beer, but
yeah,
that is extreme occasion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely had my fair share of alcohol and beer and like that. And I don't think that it's all how you do it and your Christian liberty and being smart with it and being wise with it. We're not to get drunk. That's like in the Bible, do not get drunk and everything like that. But you just like being wise and also it's almost like what is attached with it. When people think of drinking or anything like that, it's like, how do people almost see you if you have a beer in your hand or anything like that? So it's like everybody's different, and everybody has have your own conscience between you and God kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't want it in my house because of you all too.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I didn't want it in the house.
Oh yeah, I remember we definitely snuck it in. I remember that.
I'm sure you did.
Oh yeah, I don't know if that's smart to broadcast that. But I don't know all the parameters and legal things and all that kind of thing.
I'm sure I knew you probably were, but I'm sure if I found it, I would have had a fit. But no, I didn't.
I do remember Dad finding a bunch of empty beer cans somewhere, and I do not know why we hadn't thrown them away, but I remember him finding him going berserk and losing it and everything like that. But yeah, we definitely, yeah, yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we might as well be transparent, you know. I mean, everything's going to come to light eventually. There's nothing hidden that's not going to be revealed. At the end of the day, the last day, everything you've done is going to be all for all to see. So it's like, who cares, you know? If like somebody, I always think like I've done a lot of probably wrong stuff and everything like that. And if someone just like it got posted on the internet, like, man, whatever, that's me. You know, that's like I can't do anything about it. But eventually, there will become that day where everything is revealed. Jesus said that there's nothing hidden that won't be revealed. But so it's like accepting we are all flawed sinners. You know what I mean? We're trying to do our best, you know. And even in Christ, we are still sinners and fallen. But and I guess it is when you get that platform and when you're trying to share Christ and be an example and trying to tell people about Christ. It's whether they can really like the people that don't know you intensely, whether they're going to look at you and actually be able to, you're something they could actually glean something from and learn something from and grow closer to Christ. If you have that bad witness, that bad example, you might immediately turn people off and they have no chance of getting closer to you and knowing the real person. I don't know. That's just a lot of probably that.
Yeah. But, you know, God is, he just, what he has had to go through with people is amazing. I mean, that he has not turned his back completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how he's done it because he has, you know, he just saved and saved and saved, and they just turn their backs on him.
Oh yeah.
And that's been since the beginning of time. And you know, it's so easy to praise him when everything's going right, but it's so easy to forget when things are going wrong. So
oh yeah, and we quickly forget about how much we are blessed. It seems like we all it's the lens that you approach with life. For me, it's like the lens that you see everything through, whether you're going to have a good perspective and a good attitude. It's like we almost have control over that. I feel like in some form or fashion we have control over that because we're all dealt our hand that we. It's like I didn't choose to be born, you know what I mean? And like, and nobody chooses to be born. We're just kind of born into a family, and we're given the cards we're dealt, and it's like, what are we gonna do with it? You know?
right.
It's like we can only do the best we can with what we've got, and you know, have grace towards other people, have and everything that we do. When I first became a Christian, I'm always saying this, I'm always talking about it, but it was just so mind blowing to me and so life shattering that I just remember like praying, like I was like kind of on cloud nine. My mind was just I don't even know how to describe it. I was always talking to God and just started talking to him for the first time, and I just wanted to I asked him, can you show me me on that walk, on that sidewalk, and me coming to Christ? I like when I come to be with you or whatever, that can you show me, like, can I almost have a video footage of it? I want to be able to see what it was like, because I if that even makes sense. I just remember just when that happened, it was just a huge event in my life.
You mean when you were in MU?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would have been neat.
Yeah, and I just remember like I just that was like one of the things I asked God, can you someday let me see, like almost have a picture of that, what happened, you know? And I wonder if that is what like life will be like when your life flashes before your eyes whenever you go to be with the Lord, because you always hear about that, you know, your life flashing before your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they say.
It's like I don't know why that is, like what if that even means, like I don't know if I really like, thought about that, but like it probably is something.
Clips of your life, maybe.
It just instantly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, but I was bringing that up was because I remember telling you about like my life had changed. I given my life to Christ, and I remember you telling me like that, like you showed me that verse from Job it was like the verse that how Job had prayed and made sacrifices for his children and everything like that, and like almost that you were waiting for that to happen for me. It's like you were always what I didn't fully realize, in that you being a Christian and everything like that. I I kind of just took it for granted maybe. And but you like that you were had that whole time, my whole life, been praying for me and wanting me to come to Christ, kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember that at all? Like you showed me
Yep.
that Bible that you had the Bible you had in that verse,
Uh-huh.
the verse in Job where Job goes and makes sacrifices for his children.
Uh-huh.
It always stood out to me.
I just always, prayed for you all to be happy and healthy. That's all you know, and prayed for you to, love the Lord. That's, the main thing for sure.
Uh-huh.
And I just think that's probably the main thing that every parent wants for their kids.
Uh-huh.
That love the Lord themselves.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This life is so fleeting and quick, and it's like that like in Christ, like that song says, in Christ there are no goodbyes. It's like this is I was just talking to Jesse about this like the other day. It's like right now in this world we're in the womb. We're in the womb and we're not born yet. We kind of have an idea, but like what eternity is going to be like, it's going to be like almost us coming out of the womb and being born, and that's just that aspect of it, and having it in that perspective. God is like kind of like putting us together and kind of shaping us, kind of knitting us together in a way, like he's like knitting our soul together in a way, making us how he wants us to be prepared for eternity when we step into that, because death, it's not the end, it's the beginning.
Right.
But,
yeah, that is, and I mean, we shouldn't be fearful of it. I mean, it's I think most of us at this age that I am don't fear, or at least I don't fear death. I fear what the people that I love are going to go through. That is what I fear, or I just worry, I guess. Probably worry has been my worst problem.
Because you've always been like the glue of our family, and not just like our immediate family, but like even our surrounding family. You have been like the one that's like kept everyone together. You're the one that kind of like, you've always been great about that, about having like everyone, like all aunts, uncles, and cousins and everything. That like you keep us all together, and I don't think we would be as close as we are without you.
Well, I try, to, because I know how people can, like, get get scattered, and they don't keep contact, and you hear that about family all the time.
Oh yeah.
And we've lost some people in our family. Have been really hard losses.
Oh yeah.
But it's probably, I think that somebody's got to kind of step up, or it doesn't happen. And it gets harder as you get older. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, everybody's got their own lives, and
yeah.
Oh
yeah, it's
trying to get them settled down to come and be together is hard.
Oh yeah.
And but I think it's important, though.
Yeah.
Because if you don't keep your family, if you don't know each other, then you lose a lot, I think.
Oh yeah. And I'm probably terrible at that. Like I'm not as close to some of our family as like I wish I was, or would like to be.
Yeah.
Because we only see each other at certain times. Just certain times of the year for the most part.
Right.
But,
yeah, I know. It's just like I just try to just when they walk in that door, I just try to be all over them because I want them to remember me.
Oh yeah.
From when the last time they were there or were here.
Yeah.
So, and that's important to me because I always had that kind of family when I grew up. We always were together.
Oh yeah.
All our family, because we were all in the same town and we all got together.
And that was here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my aunts and uncles, they all raised me like my mom and dad. Yeah.
Seems like everyone in this town, like they all know you. Like
Mhm.
everyone. Did you say you called for jury duty and you like had to be let go because
Yeah.
everybody knew you or something?
Yeah, I knew like one of the cops and one of the and one somebody that worked for the judge, and it's like no. And Grandpa, he used to be a um, deputy,
Uh-huh.
and yeah. So when I worked at the health department, my gosh, everybody that walked in was kin to me, I think. So, but Platte City's changed a lot, though. It's not like that
Oh yeah,
anymore.
it definitely is a lot different than
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
It's definitely, but it's growing. I think it's gonna be crazy big. Eventually.
I do too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like things are definitely expanding up here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
we're holding it down for the KC. Kansas City Chiefs, baby.
that's right.
Kansas
That's right. We're coming to our. I graduated from here, and we're having our 50th year reunion
Are you really?
this year. So 1974.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have our reunion on homecoming weekend.
Uh-huh.
So.
Is that the thing where there was like a something? Did you say like a football that they had found?
Mm-hmm.
Was that about that they like a trophy football that they'd found?
Yes. Yeah.
Is
It
that
was like
for
one from the 1930s that was in the old high school.
Oh really?
Mm-hmm. Or in the high school. They just rebuilt the high school.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And it was there when we were in high school, but it had been thrown away, I think.
Because like somebody found it in the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because they.
And somebody found it over in Leavenworth, so they're having it cleaned up, and
Uh-huh.
the dents got out of it and
Yeah.
cleaned up, and they're going to present it back to the school.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So,
neat.
yeah.
I just got a thing for my 20-year not anniversary, but 20-year reunion for
Mm-hmm.
my school. Like I don't think I've went to one of the reunions yet. I think even the one recently that they didn't have, but I was just thinking about this the other day. Like people that are like like the student class president or whatever, like that you sign when they're signing up for like life, that they have to organize that for the rest of their life, because a lot of times it's this, isn't it? Like, am I like imagining that
The
like
what now?
the Stuco president, like the class president, like they have to organize the reunions.
Well, I don't know. Frank Offit gets everything. Frank has to do everything.
So it was he. So maybe I'm just making that up, but it seemed like I thought like the president, because Jessie, she's like something, she's like the vice president or something, and she had to be some kind of help for organizing the reunion. But maybe that's not the case. I just thought I thought it was like that, and I was like, man, like that's pretty a big commitment, like just for a high schooler, for the rest of your life you have to organize and bring
I
everybody.
don't know if that's for sure, but I know Frank is. I mean, if I don't know what we would have been done without Frank. He's amazing. He is,
Was he in your? He was in your class?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And he just he just is able to take charge and yeah,
Oh my
gets
gosh.
things together and just doesn't forget. So kudos to Frank.
So I know we're going to be kind of start wrapping it up, but I wanted to just touch on a couple other things. So about did you I've changed, so this is all kind of fairly new, me doing all this kind of stuff. Have you kind of thought about it? Like, is it like, are you kind of, are you liking it? Are you not liking it? Is it you indifferent? Or I asked this to Jessie and she kind of gave me an answer. Maybe it's a silly question, but I kind of wanted to see what your perspective was on it.
I like listening to them. I like listening, especially to the Bible ones.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I like listening to those. Some of them kind of go over my head.
She told me about the one that I did over just last week over predestination and everything like that. She's like, that didn't make much sense to me. I was like, well, that's not good. That's my fault. That's my fault.
I was kind of lost on the part of that, but
yeah.
But I did like the clips of the kids. Yeah, you got to have them in there more often. That's for sure.
Oh, I know, and I know they want to be in it. And in me, it is kind of surprising, like that they are like, because I wonder what I would have been like if Dad or something like that was doing like kind of putting stuff on the internet and everything like that. I would maybe thought it was kind of weird. We got a mower or something behind us. So
yeah. Well, your grandpa.
Oh yeah, you've talked about that. He was kind of into
Yeah,
making videos, doing like
Michael's dad, he was into he did a math
a math
show.
class, math show.
Yeah, a math show on some kind of a, was it like a,
Well, he worked. He's a professor at a university, right?
mm-hmm.
So he had his own show for the university.
Well, it was some kind of thing that it was like what do they call that? Oh, the TV show, NPR.
Oh,
No,
NPR.
what is
I know what
it?
you're talking about NPR.
Something like that. But anyway, he did a show, and the kids were they played parts in the show. And one of his daughters was Michael's sister was Miss Zero, and Michael was what, Dinky Digit or
Dinky
something like
Digit.
that.
Find that footage if you're out there. Find that footage of Dinky Digit.
Yeah.
Do they know where that's at? Like,
I don't know. I'd give anything to see it.
I know.
I'd give anything to see that. It was a Carol Fogel.
Yeah, and then Dad, like, wasn't it like his sister was swinging the bucket and the bucket of water came down on her
For gravity. They were doing gravity.
but
or
it wasn't
something.
planned. It wasn't planned.
No, I don't think so. Well, somebody told her to stop. She was swinging it around, and then it came down on her or something. She did not handle it too well, they said. I don't know. But yeah, so you kind of have that in your background.
Maybe that's why that, like, and you always talked about when I was younger, I always wanted to be on camera.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you kind of, took over.
When I was really young, I was like that. I think when I kind of got a little bit older, I was like, I felt uncomfortable and everything like that. But I definitely like I have the desire to kind of be on camera and do these types of things, and I want to improve. But it's just like I just remember there was a time when I just definitely loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And you've talked about it.
Mm-hmm. You did. Tammy, my sister, always said that. Brandon always had to be in the limelight.
I don't know why that is, because I'm the if anyone knows me in person, I'm the exact opposite.
Yeah,
in person.
you are.
I am an introvert. I don't talk to anybody. It's more like whenever I actually get on camera, I think that the filter goes away, because like in real life, I am overly filtered, and I'm like, I way overthink things before I say them, and then after I say them, I really regret what I said, and I just wonder, did they take that the wrong way? Did I hurt their feelings?
Mm-hmm.
How did they take that, or something? And I think that's why in real life I'm definitely a lot different than I am, as opposed to just being like on the camera or something like that. I feel much more comfortable in a way.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, that
everybody's different.
everybody's different. And, yeah.
Everybody's
A
different.
little bit of that and everybody's not bad.
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
well, Mom, did you have any questions for me that you want to maybe rapid fire or anything like that you wanted to give me, or any questions? Just
So are you enjoying doing this?
I definitely I love doing this. Yeah, it's that kind of leads me into like to be transparent and honest. Like me and Jesse, we definitely had kind of like a come to Jesus moment this morning when like getting ready to come over here. It just like, I think it's me doing all this stuff. I'm not with her and with the kids as much. I'm like kind of like trying to do all this and put everything together, and with the business happening that I'm trying to build and everything and working on, I'm definitely removed, and like it was a struggle that we had. And like she's like not as pleased and happy, and I think we just needed to talk through things. I don't know, and you've been there through all the struggles that we've had. You know, we've like we always come to you all when we have problems and issues and everything like that. You know, our marriage definitely isn't perfect, but
Yeah. Well, I hope you can spread yourself.
Yeah.
I know that's hard,
yeah,
but it is hard when you're when they need you.
yeah, and you just need to be there. You know, I never thought I would have be like this, but it's like I feel like I don't have enough time in the day to do all the stuff that I'm wanting to get done. You know, and I think, and I was just telling her this, like trying to do these things and trying to build this business and make things happen and grow this. Eventually, whenever it's not about like just trying to making money or making financial like security for your family, but a lot of times when you can kind of get into that arena, you can almost you can gain more time in a way, like not because you can do things in this like kind of arena where you're putting stuff out there and you're having that very concentrated creating content as opposed to just working a 9 to 5 40-hour a day week. You can have like more concentrated that you get something created and done and put out there for people that can enjoy, and then like you have so much more freedom and free time to do stuff. So I think I want to get to that point eventually, and then maybe I could actually spend more time with Jesse and the kids and everything like that. But
Yeah. Well, it probably, when you're doing those things, it gives you more purpose or something.
I think that's been a big part of it. Like I told in the video with Jesse, I stopped drinking, and I think that like that mind shift whenever I stopped drinking is I don't know if I just needed to fill the time with the time I wasn't drinking, because it's like before that I was always looking forward to drinking, and that was like my mindset. My whole week was planned around when am I going to be able to drink, and I didn't drink overly, but it's just like just I desired it so much, and I planned my whole week around it. And whenever I don't have that anymore, I think I had like I was ignited, and a desire came in to like actually make something else happen and build something, build my own empire, if you will, as much as possible, you know, and not build someone else's kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think she understands that. It's
Yeah.
just hard for her, you know, with your kids and everything, because
Yeah.
you know, she's got a full plate too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Praise God for moms and wives. We're extremely blessed to have them, you know. So, Mom, did you have anything else you wanted to ask or anything?
I don't think so.
Well, well, I'm really thankful you came on. You know, you and Dad and Zach have been so supportive of me, of everything. I'm extremely thankful for you. I mean, you all were the ones, and I know I could just keep talking and talking forever, you know, but you are the ones, like, whatever I got into, you were always there supporting me. I remember when I got into the sales business, you were like one of my sales. I sold them a security system, ADT baby. Yeah, and like they were like, but that's what parents do. They support their kids, and they want to give them that sell so they can kind of expand their horizons and everything like that. So you all were always amazing. That I come to you for everything, and this, like, having a video like this, I know we can make videos, home family videos, but like this is kind of important for me. It will always be with me, and just to our future generations will be able to look back and see us, you know. So well, thank you, Mama. I'm extremely happy. I'm thankful you came on the show with me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you letting me, and I love you.
I love you too. Can I shake your hand? I don't know if that's weird. I don't know if we ever really shook hands before.
I don't think we did.
You might have witnessed the first right there. So, hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next episode.
All right.
So we hold on and enjoy.